Well, from TSA screening to security you don't see, protecting the public at U.S. airports is big business. Today, airports around the country confront what's known as the insider threat, the people who actually work at the airports. In the second part of a Nightly Business Report exclusive, Morgan Brennan goes behind the scenes with police, looking at everything from random employee checks to counting sharp knives used at terminal restaurants. It's all taking place at LAX, Los Angeles International, the second busiest in the country.
We're behind security, inside hidden passageways at Los Angeles International Airport, where the public isn't allowed. A multi-agency police operation is focusing on the people who work at the airport itself to find anyone deemed an insider threat.
When we work this detail, we have a zero tolerance.
Zero tolerance means something small could turn into something big.
When you look around this terminal, what are you seeing?
I'm looking around for opportunists that are preying on the travelers, but mostly I'm looking for some kind of criminal element, something that sticks out that needs to be looked at a little bit more.
It all starts at 9 a.m. in a briefing room at the Aviation Police Department headquarters.
This is the only task force of its kind that does an operation like this in the nation at any major airport.
As teams of officers prepare to head out, Captain Tyrone Stallings tells us there's a clear game plan.
What do you expect to see today?
Well, we usually want to see a show of force, uniforms, high visibility in a certain specific area, and also we want to address the insider threat.
The operation has begun. We see highly visible officers armed with rifles as we ride up the escalator with Lieutenant Henry Acosta in the international terminal. And it doesn't take long for something to happen.
Okay, we're on our way to gate 134.
As we navigate elevators and restricted passages, we eventually wind up on the airfield. Police are questioning this ramp worker, pulled over after a random ID check. It turns out the employee has an active warrant for a pending DUI case.
Hey, go sprint your feet for me, please.
He's going to be arrested and likely lose his job.
Seems like the other employees have been watching very closely what's going on, too.
Oh, they do.
I imagine word's spreading.
Probably the first hour we set up and we started doing everything, they were texting, phoning the other employees, hey, the police are out here.
To get an airport ID badge, all 54,300 employees undergo a criminal background check and get fingerprinted. But the random reviews keep track of whether someone's record has changed. Elsewhere, TSA officers are conducting their own surprise searches of employees. LAX is so serious about the issue, it employs 2 intelligence analysts whose sole job is to look for any and all threats. Anthony McGinty and Michelle Sosa were hired 3 years ago, the first of their kind to work directly for an airport. Their intelligence gathering extends beyond the passenger terminals to cargo areas around LAX, the 5th busiest in the country, with about 2.2 million metric tons passing through each year. Items from iPhones to international mail loaded on and off planes and shipped worldwide.
How real is the insider threat?
I think that is probably one of our top concerns, and we briefed that to the stakeholders, the airline security managers, and they're all aware. I mean, everybody's aware of this. And I think it goes hand in hand with some of the criminal activity that you may see at airports that we pay attention to. If somebody is trying to smuggle bulk cash or drugs, they're getting paid to put something on an aircraft. And the concern is, when are they going to know that it's a bomb and not drugs that they're being asked to put on board?
The TSA has been very good at securing above the wing, but oftentimes below the wing, and what goes on around the airplane, and people who have access to the airplane. In many versions, that's what we're kind of worried about.
Even what appear to be potential low-level threats are routinely monitored. Our cameras captured this inspection of knives at a steakhouse in the international terminal.
And I just need to go inside the kitchen and look at the knives that are currently outstanding right now.
In the kitchen, the knives are all where they should be, a process that takes only a few minutes.
Okay, great. Looks like all the knives that are checked out are all accounted for.
Officer Sean Foley says every single restaurant employee is trained about properly keeping track of cutlery.
It's a pretty daunting process for us, but it's a very important process.
And as the police operation into insider threats is winding down, Lieutenant Acosta reflects on that very issue on everyone's mind: safety.
Knowing what you know about how an airport like LAX operates, is it hard to think about getting on a plane or traveling or just knowing the threats that could be out there?
Me personally, no. No. You're safe boarding an aircraft and flying. You're safe.
For Nightly Business Report, I'm Morgan Brennan.